Hello, everyone. This is another episode of Quest Unplayed, the podcast where three people just love talking about gaming stuff. So today we have a special guest, our second guest. So we will probably introduce ourselves before or say hi, and then just dive into it right away. So before we start, this podcast is sponsored by Minimap. Minimap is a gamers community platform where you can do basically anything related to games. You can sync different gaming accounts, make game collections, connect with other gamers. So if you have a gaming account and if you're interested, please join Minimap. Okay, so today we are joined by Anthony.
Hello, good evening.
Next we have Zach with the duck shirt.
Hi. Hello.
And then we have a guest, Kostia.
Hello.
Okay, so before we start, we should probably ask Kostia to introduce himself. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course. Hi, and thanks again for having me on your wonderful podcast. My name is Kostia. I'm a founder and head of art of Australian-based studio Spoonful of Wonder, and we are working on our debut indie title called Copycat that's about to release in September.
Yeah, so I actually got to know Kostia because his game was at BIC, the Busan Indie Connect, and I saw his game coming, and I just really wanted to meet him in person because I thought he was coming, but he wasn't. So I kind of Discorded him saying, "Hey, I know you made just cool cat game. I really wanted to meet you in person and talk to you, but then how about we just talk online instead?" And he greatly accepted. So I'm excited to have him in our episode.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So do you guys know? We all know what Copycat is, but I know Zach has played at least the demo of it. How do you feel about the game?
I liked it. To be honest with you, at first I was apprehensive because I'm a big fan of violence and stuff, and there wasn't a whole lot of violence in what I saw. But the crazy thing about the game, I don't know how much I can get into it when I was playing it, it draws you in immediately into the story, and the pacing with the action was just so pleasant. It was you have all these things going on with Olive and Dawn, I believe is the cat's name, right? Dawn or Fawn? Dawn. And then they have all these things going on, and even there's parts where there's dream sequences where you're doing stuff with Dawn where she's pretending like she's a big cat, but Olive's talking to her daughter on the phone, and it's just crazy because it's actually a lot of fun. The only thing I was like is I don't know if this was on purpose or not to move along the story, but I had a hard time with all the beginning, like what you're supposed to do, because it's like bite her or scratch her. I'm like, I don't want to do either one. She seems like a really nice lady. I was like, I just want to be a nice cat, but it's like you got to do one or the other. Like there's no but it was a pleasantly. I really enjoyed how the story kind of played out, and it made me the demo did make me want to definitely. I wish listed the game. I'm not gonna lie, wish list the game and get it when it comes out, and of course add it to my backlog because Jesus. But it was really fun. I really liked the demo. It just you could tell the game was really based. I don't know if I'm guessing this is what you guys are going for, but the story was just so you could just feel it that it was all about story and these two characters now they're going to interact.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It is very narrative driven piece for sure, and we put narrative first as a story. We have story to tell, and very excited to hear that you enjoyed it and you played. And it is a game with some hard choices, and sometimes they are going to be uncomfortable. Sometimes they're not going to be a right choice, and they all to reflect either the background of a cat. If you've been through 6-7 different homes, you may not want to be friendly to your owner. So there are a bit of a kind of moral choices mechanic. You get to hunt a baby bird, a mama bird, and stuff like that. So it's not gonna be easy in a way. But yeah, I mean, it's
That
not
was
much.
not in the demo.
Yeah,
It's coming. It's coming. So yeah,
yeah.
talk a little bit more about it towards at the end. But we will dive right into our first section of Quest Unplayed, the bulletin board waypoint, the weekly game chronicles. This is where we talk about the weekly games, what has happened this week, or what we want to talk about. So the first thing we want to talk about is, I mean, everyone has been talking about this, the Black Myth Wukong. I know it. I think like 10 million copies were sold in like 2 days or something. So what do you guys think?
I think it's crazy. Not because I think it's bad. I know that game's been. How long has that game been forecasted now? 3 or 4 years?
I think it was longer, if I recall.
Yeah, I remember the God of War director like said something about the teaser video or something, saying like, "Oh, this game is going to be greater." And I also saw that the developer of Wukong said like the game is inspired by God of War. So
Yeah, no. Good on them.
Yeah.
I haven't got a chance to play it yet because it's one of those games that's like whenever a AAA title comes out, I like to wait till the price goes down. But I know it looks like a great game. It looks beautiful. And I always found the character of Wukong, like I said earlier in the podcast, I played a lot of MOBAs, and there's almost always a Wukong character in almost every MOBA.
Yeah.
So I've always been kind of like fascinated with like the Wukong type character, like how he's a mischievous and kind of like a Loki character, but not from that mythological era, whatever you call it. That makes any sense.
Did any of you two play the game yet, Kostia and Anthony?
I haven't had a chance
Nope.
yet. Yeah, one of the realities of the indie game dev that take you almost stop playing them when you make them.
Yeah, I kind of understand that because
You just look at them from the distance and kind of like, those are good numbers. Like,
Yeah.
you watch some reviews.
Did you say that when, as an indie dev, you stopped playing AAA titles as much? Is that?
Just in general, just the time
Yeah.
becomes very limited.
Wow. Okay.
So you're very selective with your game consumption,
time.
unfortunately. Yeah.
That's a good question too. I mean, I'm guessing it is a AAA title because it's such a big title.
It is actually. I think it's China's first AAA title.
Okay, so it's her first title though.
yeah.
From China. First AAA title from China.
I forgot the name of the company. Oh,
It's Game Science.
Game Science. Yes, that's right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's their first ever released game too. So
I think it was an expensive project also.
yeah,
It's like 75 million.
But then I heard like within like 3 days or something, they already made profit. I heard
They did.
Yeah, they made like 7 times the profit.
They definitely surpassed Power World.
Yeah. They did, and Helldivers too. I think they broke all sorts of records. I think I actually checked yesterday, like at the concurrent players. I think like still like around 1 million players are playing at the time. So it's just
It's amazing for a game that's been in development for about 6 years.
Yeah, and also it helped out. Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Kostia.
It's so cool as well that it's like a single player game. It's not a live service. It's not like a multiplayer, like super high replayability. It's like it's a single player, like tight, awesome experience, and it does really well. It's like it's a sign,
Yeah.
Yeah. So and also I heard that it also helped out Steam break its record for concurrent players. I saw the numbers, like 37 million concurrent players are playing on Steam. So that's a lot of number of players.
Wow.
On Steam. And
how big is the team that made it? Or is it?
I mean, it has to be in the hundreds at least.
You think so?
It has to be. I mean, I didn't do the research there, but it's a big project, so I'm kind of assuming in a way. Yeah, I think. And I'm pretty sure like Valve or Steam or Gabe is really happy because like he probably made a lot of money.
He's like,
Let me
yay.
see.
Yeah.
It says it has less than 150.
It's in the hundreds then, or at least hundred.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
fun fact: the fun fact is when they made the first demo, it was only 20 people.
Oh,
When they made the Wukong demo, it was only 20.
so that's
Was that kind of their play test, basically?
Yeah, like when they did it like 4 years ago.
Like pre-publisher kind of.
And then they became big.
yeah. So I think here's a very good lesson to make your trailer look very, very good. I mean,
Amazing.
I also watched. I mean, Copycat's trailer is also awesome too. Like I dove right into the story too.
I'm not saying this because the developer's here, but I'll probably get Copycat before I get Wukong. I won't lie to you.
Me too. Yeah.
But I'm way too far into the indie rabbit hole nowadays. I'm just like, that indie game's dope.
Oh.
I'm getting it.
Once you go down that rabbit hole, you would never get out. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like I said about the only AAA title I'm really kind of looking forward to, which I know I got to get day one, is going to be Monster Hunter when it comes out. The new, I've just been playing Monster Hunter for so long, and it's such a fun game to play with your friends. But yeah, when this is not me shooting anything towards them for doing such a good job with their the game and selling so much. It's just I always just look at games that are AAA and I'm like, those are cool, but I've played so many games like Copycat and I just bought Haunty on because of you guys. And because I was like, Haunty looks so good, and so I was like, I got to play it. Then you get stuck into that. Well, I want to get these knocked out first, and maybe I'll get that Wukong down the line when they have like a summer sale and it's like 50% off.
Yeah, I mean, I'll also be honest. Like, I would rather buy like 5 or 6 indie games than like buy one AAA game that's like $70. You know, like I love playing variety of. You can play a variety of games, and also you can support the indie devs at the same time. And there's so many like super things you can experience. So I think, I mean, I kind of hope that this is like the new trend in a way. Like instead of buying like $70, $80 like big AAA game. I mean, if you have a choice to obviously buy both, then you go ahead. But like if you have like a limited budget, then and also we also have limited time to play. And, so
that's true.
That is definitely true.
Yeah, I also am waiting for like any of these like small indie teams breaking these crazy records too, like in the future at some point. Like
I feel like even if they do as half as good as them though, or a quarter, that's still a big victory just because they're smaller teams. And this is not true of all games, but like most indie games I played, and you've even said this before, George, and I think Anthony said this as well. I just feel so much more heart, and you know what I mean? It just feels like somebody really put some love into the game. And so it gives me that old school tingly feeling when I'm playing a game, other than just, okay, well, I just shot a guy for the 20th time, I guess. I get an achievement for it. Cool. Like, but
we can take some risks, I guess, being indies, being small, and being like kind of having relatively lower stakes. As you said, we're smaller teams. We don't need to make profits like Wukong does. We like we'll be happy with like 1% of this because
yes.
So it's absolutely true. Yeah, it's like indie industry, and like lots of innovation comes from that. And there have been like even this year, I think Manor Lords did really well. There's like one person dev. They just
that's my favorite. It's fantastic.
What game?
Manor
Lords.
You guys are gonna have to send me a Steam.
It's a city builder game.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony loves the city builder game, so I know Anthony's gonna get the Civ 7 when it comes out, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought of Anthony when I was watching the Nintendo Direct at lunch at work today, and the civilian the Civilization trailer came up. I was like, there he is. He's gonna play that.
So we could the second point of our bulletin board waypoint was talk about the Nintendo Direct. So what do you guys think about? Did everyone watch it or? not having
Yep.
enough time.
I think I watched all of it. It was weird because on YouTube it was in chunks.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. So I know I watched the indie showcase and then I watched the partner showcase. I didn't know if that was all of it.
Yeah, that was it. I like it how they did the indie world showcase in the beginning
Yeah.
and show all the indie games that are coming out to Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kostia, are you planning on like developing Copycat into bringing it into the Nintendo Switch console at some point in the future?
We would absolutely love that, and we love Nintendo's platform. So as soon as we release for PC, we'll start porting, and so we hope to have it available on Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. Obviously, Switch with the hardware probably would be the most challenging, and we still haven't heard of Switch 2 at this event. So yeah, we'll have to probably dial down on some of that grass and volumetric lights for the Switch version. But that's the plan. We don't have any date or anything committed, but have a full intention of doing that.
That's funny.
Yeah. So Anthony, did you have anything particular you wanted to talk about that was showcased during Nintendo Direct Indie Showcase?
Oh, I mean, there was a lot, especially a game that I actually play a lot because I love simulator games.
Yes.
Power Wash Simulator.
Yes, I actually saw that.
So, what was it again?
The Power Wash Simulator. So they're releasing a new.
Oh, the
DLC.
power washing with
Yeah.
with Shrek.
So they're releasing the Shrek DLC.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I was
come
like,
on.
what is? At first, I was like, what is he doing? What's he? And then I realized when he sprayed off the slime of Shrek on it, I was like, okay.
I just love how versatile their formula is. You can just make DLC for almost like collab with almost anything. That's just so cool.
I saw that with the card game. What is the card game? It's pretty.
Balatro.
Balatro had like several.
Yeah,
it was
they had,
like
the Vampire Survivor, Day Survivor. Yeah.
Yeah, it had a whole bunch of them. I was like, Among Us. It was just like,
yeah.
I'm like, bruh.
When Balatro first came out, I was not expecting it to get this huge.
You know, I gotta play it.
It's just another card game. Yeah, I play it still too. It's like so addicting.
No, I haven't. I gotta play it because I love card games. Card games are like one of my favorite games, and I never played it. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, well, it must have something going for it because it just dropped like 7 crossovers. Like everybody's doing it. I'm like, okay. Well.
It's like one of those indie games that you would not expect that it was going to be such a huge hit.
Yeah, I think the Inscription also was a big hit too.
Yeah.
The card games.
Another game I bought that I still got to play.
Oh, so quick question for Kostia. If you can collaborate with any game with Copycat, what game would it be?
That's a beautiful question. I don't know about the game, but would love to. I really love Don't Not Entertainment and their series, like Life is Strange series. It's a big inspiration for us. So doing anything, being a cat of one of the Life is Strange characters, something like that. I love their work. Would really love to collaborate with them. It's one of our inspirations for sure.
I could see that actually, though. You could have where one character it's going through the person, and then the person's got like a cat as a pet, and then the cat goes on its own adventure and then finds itself back to the person. Sorry.
And there's a bit of trouble involved, right?
Yeah, and it would be cool. And the cat has powers. No, I'm just joking. But no,
I think you can sneak it in there somewhere.
That's a good development. I really like those games. They're very beautiful.
Yeah.
And they are.
I like how you can make choices and it shapes the whole. I love games like that where there's choices and it shapes things in the game. It reminds me back when I was a kid and we used to have. I'm really old, but we used to have these books called Choose Your Own Adventure books. Anybody remember those? Where you could go in, it's like if you choose this, go to page 92, and you would like the spider ate you, and you're like, oh, you'd have to start over again. I love it. It's so much fun. But yeah.
And I think the My Sim, the new Sims game was introduced during the Nintendo Direct.
It was It was kind of a cute one.
Yeah, the cozy something.
They were like tiny,
Yeah.
weren't they? What
Mice
were they?
and cozy. Yeah, that was the name.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like Animal Crossing characters.
Yeah.
It's a good timing for them for the Sims to do something new, since like Inzoe is like taken off now as
Yes, it is.
a competitor. So it's good
Mhm.
for them to try to reignite a bit of a fan base.
What is Inzoe? Inzoe, is that how you say it?
Yes.
I haven't played it, but I like everyone compares it to The Sims, but like graphics look really cool, and I think there's like I see like lots of viral videos of people
Mhm.
creating really quirky characters. Someone
Yes.
created
Mhm.
what's the name from Baldur's Gate 3? Oh my gosh. Like Baldur's Gate 3 characters, like it's
Uh-huh.
really extensive. Is a
Oh, wow.
character.
I feel like I'm missing out. I have to look that up.
I think they do. They have like a demo thingy where you can actually customize your character, and then I think didn't like Baldur's Gate 3 or some other game that did that like before it was launched.
It was Dragon Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma, yeah.
Yeah.
There was Dragon's Dogma actually allowed you to have like customize your character before it was launched.
Yeah.
So I guess Inzo is also taking that path too.
I remember doing it and thinking there was going to be a game after. And it was like you customize your person, you're like, and it's like that's it. You're like, oh, that's it. Okay, well,
That was like a demo.
this
And
was a
also-
fun thing. It was fun.
I think like Enzo is like I think they said something about like AI generated customization.
So they have a way where you scan a real life object and you could have it into the game. Something that's in your room, like a picture, a frame, and it'll scan it and then it'll create it as the second image, and you can adjust the image and then put it in your house. So it becomes very personal.
It does. So you can actually scan your pets or something and then have it a pet in the game too.
Come here, Bailey. Hold still.
Oh.
Wondering if there any sort of moderation for that content. You don't know what people are gonna scan. People.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It could be something bad.
There has
wait a minute.
Like for example, if you have like an older brother or something that you can like scan him and like beat him up in the game.
I automatically thought of that one VTuber that is like really. She's like she has like the best rig. I can't remember her name, but she has some wild stuff on her stream. She's been banned a couple of times. I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. I can't remember her name, but she has like a whole full body rig and stuff, and her chat can throw like Mel doll things at her and stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. Well, it's really wild. I'm like, this is out of control.
Yeah. So there has to be like a moderation for that game.
Well, I think so. I think it's for now they're gonna try to focus on scanning on objects mostly.
Not a person. Okay.
Inanimate objects.
Okay. In that case, that's not too bad, I guess.
It's not too bad. No.
Can't think
you
of
know what that
word.
reminds me of? Did you guys see the dating game that was on Nintendo? It was like Date Anything or Date Everything.
Date Everything. I think that was the name.
I was like, it was a little weird. It's like, I want to date the lamp. And I'm like,
I just love how creative they went with the characters, and like, because it's been announced a few weeks ago for PC as well, I think, and they like all the characters, all the items in the house, they have their own characters and like almost archetypes, and it's like you can go really creative with those. Like it's
that's what I thought it was. That's what made me kind of laugh, because I used to play a lot of dating games back in the day for fun on my stream and stuff, and when it was like Date Everything, and then I was like, at first I didn't understand because I just saw people, but then the people were objects. Like that one girl was a bookshelf, and there was a guy that was a lamp, and I was like, okay, I get it. But it was pretty funny. It just automatically made me think of that, because I was like, that was different for sure.
Very, very creative.
Yeah. It's like, date your vacuum. Like, okay, this is my vacuum.
And I think, obviously Silk Song was not introduced. That was kind of I think a lot of people made a meme out of it. They do. That's what they do every single time. There's like some kind of direct.
I think they're gonna make a book out of this soon. I think the book's gonna come out first before the game.
If it's got the art in it, I'll buy it. The art's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I love that noir kind stuff.
Yeah, and
I don't know. I don't know why it's not coming out. I think maybe they're just being pushed from higher ups. Like cannot. No one knows.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if they have some kind of excuse, or like if they make something like, sorry, we're having this issue, then we will kind of understand. But like, there's zero information, so we have no idea.
Zero communication. No one knows.
Yeah, that's why kind of make fun of it.
Conspiracy continues.
How long has it been in development now?
Let's see. When was it first announced?
It's got to be at least 2, if not more.
Yeah, no, more. I think they were supposed to.
It was it was announced in 2019.
No way, that late?
That's 5 years.
2019, I remember.
What year is it now?
2024.
2024.
Ouch.
They go on the Wakanda path.
When it drops, it's going to be huge.
It's going to suppress. It's going to suppress the internet.
But look, if it drops, it's huge and big game and doesn't have bugs. It's well polished. It's totally worth the wait. Sometimes it's better to wait for another bit and get like really, really well polished product.
And I think like once it drops, everyone's gonna buy it.
Once it drops,
no one's not gonna buy it because it took longer.
Anthony's correct. It was February 14, 2019.
Just make sure there's no other Metroidvania games drop at the same time on that game.
Yeah, they'll have to push their game.
Honestly, my son played this game like a maniac when it first came out. He loved it.
Yeah, I mean,
the Silk Song, and I was like, "What is it?" Like, even I didn't play it. I actually watched him play it, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the Hollow Knight is very good.
That's the only problem when it comes to these indie games is dropping release date when there's other games like similar genre.
Yeah,
then you're like, which one do you pick?
You can play both.
It was a big one for us. Like, we haven't announced our date yet, but we picked one, and our release announcement trailer goes live next week. But you just go through SteamDB and the calendar of the releases. You're like, okay.
You have to.
That's really interesting, actually, because me and my friends have actually talked about that a bit before, and then you saying that, is that a thing too? When you're making a game, you want it to drop, you're like, okay, we got to pick a good day for this. Like, one person's like,
yeah, there's a lot of science behind it, lots of marketing research. Like, when we were just selecting before it got delayed, we were like, is it like God of War or Stalker 2? Like, which one do we want to? Yeah. And you can't go against any of them. But the thing is, there are dozens or hundreds of games released every week or even every day. Right? So
all the time.
You just cannot accommodate for everything. Yeah. So only thing we were looking for is to make sure we're not releasing on the same day with the games that were similar to us. The vibes, the feel, like the cats. Like, okay, so we look at the date we want. Okay, there are no cat games. Perfect. There are no like this kind of nice narrative-driven, wholesome games. Perfect. Because there's gonna be big months. There's like a Tiny Glade. There is Caravan Sandwich. There are there are lots of games releasing. There's gonna be indie September for sure. So you just cannot. It's impossible. If you want to pick one date when you have no competition, you'll be postponing like years and years. Maybe that's what Silk Song's doing, but they are not afraid of competition, I guess, at this stage.
Yeah, they don't care.
And they are afraid of them now.
And that's got to be kind of crazy, especially when you put all that time and effort into something. You're like, it's done, and you just want to release it, but you're like, I gotta wait because you just want to see how people are going to react to it. I bet that drives you nuts.
Right.
We had similar when we released our demo because we were trying to do like big kind of influencer push in February when we released our demo for Steam Next Fest, and we were trying to get in touch with people playing the game, and we shared our code to play early. And when the game was supposed to be released, everyone's just playing Pal World. It was like,
Everybody's playing Power World. No. Dang you, Power World.
Yep.
And it's hard to probably make it a cat game because you want to make this beautiful, wholesome, story-driven game, and everybody playing Power World just wants to give their cat like an Uzi and see what. Like, I just want my cat to have an Uzi. You're like, that's not our game.
That's where the gory, the cuddly carnage come from, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that came out today. No, yesterday. I think it was released.
Which one?
Yeah,
what
so
one?
if you copycat with violence, that's the one.
Gory.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I saw. I'm not gonna lie. I always wanted to play the squirrel with a gun game. I don't know. It just looked funny to me. But no.
For sure.
If you would have told me, I would have put some stuff out there. I didn't even know about it. I was like, "What is this game? It's so fun." Sorry.
So yeah, I think that's. Oh, and the Yakuza game came to Nintendo.
Isn't it the first Yakuza game though?
Yep.
Yakuza,
I think it was 7 years. They've been waiting for it to come to Nintendo. This is a sign that Sega got big plans.
Yeah, they do have big plans. We did talk about the Yakuza or Like a Dragon coming as a TV show too. Like they probably have this giant, huge timeline of things that they want to do, so that
It's all marketing.
Yeah, it's
marketing
all about
and
marketing.
science.
Yep. If you have a good IP, it's all about marketing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's
we
good.
see you, Sony.
Yeah. So yeah, and then like there are some like old games that are coming to Nintendo, like not old, but like the ones that have been released for a while, like Pizza Tower's coming, the Nightmare at Freddy's is coming, Coffee Talk Tokyo is coming. Yeah. Shout out!
Is that an older game though? Is that an older game? I don't think I've ever heard
Coffee
of it.
Talk.
Yeah.
The
Coffee Talk Tokyo.
No, the Tokyo I think is brand new.
Yeah, the Tokyo is brand new. Coffee Talk 1 and 2 are out. Yeah. So
they did a really good job on their presentation. I like how they announced each person. They talked.
Yeah.
And then
they did. Like, they even had the translator or someone talking in the on the bottom.
Yeah, it was the guy, the English to Japanese not translator. What did they call himself?
Interpreter.
Basically translator. Yeah, he was the guy that's
interpreter.
Yeah. Interpreter.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
I used to do that. So yeah.
And Pizza Tower might be old, but I have never seen a preview for it until today, and I was like, I'd play that game. The game looks pretty fun.
pretty popular.
It's a platformer about making pizza. I'm there. We can do this.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if anyone is interested in like watching all the games that are introduced during Nintendo Direct, I'll probably upload the game collection on Minimap, so just come over. Okay, so and the third and last one for this week is Valve finally revealing the Deadlock. They didn't I think they didn't make like an official announcement or anything. They just made the Deadlock Steam page live. So
yeah, you can go and follow the game. That's it.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird because many people have already played this game as beta testing or test players, and you can only play it by like inviting like other person or a friend to play.
Yeah.
And there's actually, what's funny is you say that only people have been invited. So it's not even like as high as like Marvel Rivals has been inviting people to play, right? It's very little, but there's already people putting out how to play guides, and I'm like, bro, I don't know when I'll ever play this game. Why is this already a video? And then when you get to Souls, I'm like, what, 2 years from now? When am I getting these?
It's the one day one, it's just like 100 people didn't know about Deadlock.
Yeah, I actually didn't know about it till the other day. My friend's like, hey, did you see Valve's putting out kind of an Overwatch shooter? Because me and him used to play Overwatch a lot together. Well, I kind of was like, I don't want to play Overwatch anymore. I kind of got it out of my life.
Yeah.
Because I was disappointed with it. I won't say why. But and then he's like, yeah, Deadlock. And then I started watching it. I was like, Val, I want to play this game. This looks dope. But now I gotta wait because I'm not special enough to get like any of that inside knowledge.
It's interesting how different the reactions were though, like Deadlock and then there's Concord, and they both are like hero kind of team-based shooters. and it's just polar opposites how they were received, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough for Sony. Yeah.
Well, I didn't even know about Concord either until recently.
Yeah, it's not.
But I knew about Marvel Rivals the first day they announced it, so it makes me wonder.
There's too much. There's a lot of competition.
Yeah, there's just too many of them, and like if you have to like make the right choice of making like the characters and stories and all that, so that the game stands out.
It's gonna be that whole battle royale period where when battle royale first introduced, everyone came out with battle royale games, and there was too many, no one could play.
Yeah.
So now this is a new trend again.
Like PUBG, and then there was one before PUBG. It was
PUBG wasn't the first one though.
No, I know. I said there was one before. It was what was it? It was that zombie game, wasn't it? Oh, he knows. It was. It wasn't some kind of zombie game, and it was like a mod or something for it.
Is it Counter-Strike? No.
No, H1Z1.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah, that way. Okay. But
and then remember the cooking one? There was one based off of cooking.
I don't.
And there was one where you shot people and they turned into a chicken, and if you ran away long enough, you turned back into yourself. So they didn't kill you in chicken mode. It was really funny. You're just like trying to stay alive. There's been so many of them.
It is. That's the thing. It's a trend.
Yeah. And every time Call of Duty comes out with a new game, we're going to see another version of their.
You don't see another Call of Duty game similar out there that comes out.
Yep. That's the first thing people are talking about. They're like, hey, where's Battle Royale? I'm like, you haven't played the game yet, brother. I don't need story mode.
So
let's get rid of that.
If you go to the Steam page of Deadlock, it still says it's like early stage in development, so we won't be able to play it until at least like next year or something. But I mean, the game looks fun, and then I think the mod of the Discord page or something said it is now okay to like release all the information or videos of the play. That's why, Zach, you probably saw a bunch of people like releasing their content at the same time. So it's like official announcement that it is going to be released. So yeah, that's fun.
That makes me laugh because I've gotten a couple of games where it's like you can't release anything until this date.
Yeah,
and you just want to release a ton of stuff, and you're like, well, I guess I'll wait.
I mean, that's why they're like embargoes, and that happened to like when I got the key for Euden Chronicles, they didn't like want to say anything about the game for a long time. So
yeah, which you gotta respect their wishes.
We have to because like we have to respect everyone else who's been waiting to actually play.
Yeah,
and then you always want to respect embargoes, especially in the game industry where it's pretty small. Everyone knows each other.
Yes, yeah. If you ignore that, you won't be able to get the next key, the preview key. You're not getting that. And also, I think there's like a rumor of Half-Life 3 is going to be in development as well. So so we would have to see, because some people were kind of disappointed that the newest Valve release was not Half-Life 3. The announcement wasn't about, but I mean, we will have to see because nobody knows it unless you're actually working for them.
Hasn't that been the thing though since Half-Life 2 came out?
Yeah,
a year later, everybody's like, "Where's Half-Life 3?" You're like,
wasn't there the joke that they just cannot count to 3 because like Portal, Half-Life?
Oh my gosh,
Half-Life Alyx.
There's we should have said the joke when Cheap was here last week too. Oh my gosh.
But it was Half-Life 3, and it's, I guess, same was like partially as GTA 6. Like the expectations are so high. Like how do you match it? Like no matter what you do, like I don't know if like for the developer, how do you match the expectation? Because it's going to be so much hype, right? Like you have to do something. Yeah, I don't know what you.
That is crazy.
Yeah, GTA 6, Silk Song, like we just discussed, that's going to have high expectation. Like some of the games we've been waiting for a long time. Elden Ring also had that kind of before the DLC came out, the high expectation, and there's just too many of them. So that's
Good luck, guys. let the odds forever be in your favor.
Yeah. I guess. That I think that's all we have to talk about for this week's bulletin point waypoint. Anything you guys want to add?
I'm really excited for the Valve games.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
I'm a big fan of Valve.
Yes, we are all. I think most of us are. But yeah. Next we have the indie game waypoint. This is where we're going to be talking a little bit deeper into Copycat, since we have the dev here. We have a bunch of questions that we have, so get ready. But before we actually talk about or ask them questions, we'll watch the trailer and maybe.
Oh yeah, you should.
Are you ready?
I'm excited.
All
Press the
right.
green button.
Yes, I will.
Aww.
I can't take you inside, honey. I already have a cat. Can I tell you a secret?
I know how it feels to be scared, angry, and all alone.
What have I done?
All right. So
That lady's a cat lady. That's what she did.
yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
I think the cats are cute from the trailer. And did you actually have a voice actor for the characters, or?
Of course. Yeah, we spent like 3 days in studio recording.
Oh.
We had our friends with some theater background and some of them who work as professional voice artists. It was good kind of way to find balance between, what we can afford recording and the output. We're very happy with the results. We actually had few comments that some of the voices sounded AI for some reason, and I don't know if it's probably either overmixed them a little bit in the cleanup or something like that. But I guess these days with AI, people are also a bit hyper vigilant about spotting that stuff. But yeah, we have wonderful cast of voiceovers, including one cat. Our house cat Flame, he did like 90% of the meows in the game. So
Yeah, he told me. Yeah.
I was following him with the microphone for like 3 days, like, give me a meow, give me an angry one, give me a hungry one. Only hungry meow with him.
So is your cat in the credits?
He is.
Yes.
He actually got the voiceover credit and Cats of the Team credit, so he gets credited twice.
Nice.
More than me.
He's big time right now.
Nice.
He's big time.
Big time. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I think we should just take turns to ask him questions, because we have like so many questions.
Yeah, we could just have fun too.
Okay. So did you have any questions for him, Anthony?
Well, there was one question that I didn't put on the thing sheet. Yeah, so I play a lot of games on the Steam Deck. So I was just wondering, are you gonna focus on getting the game to become Steam Deck verified as well?
Yeah, we have tested it on my Steam Deck along the way. It's running about like 40 frames per second on medium
nice.
settings. It's reasonable, I believe. We're still doing last bits of the optimization just before the release. But it's totally playable, totally supported on Steam Deck. We just need to get into the verification process. It's very selective on the Steam partner website. You can't just go and apply for one. You have to be invited. We are waiting to have an opportunity to do so.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I know Zach has a lot of questions, so shoot it away.
I'm sorry. Okay.
No. Because
Just
Zach,
yeah, no. I actually kind of killed a couple of them at the beginning, and you answered one telling us who did the voiceover or the voicing for the cat. Because I was going to ask you if you had a cat. Because one of the questions I was going to ask is with all the crazy at the beginning. When I was playing the game, I was like, either this person hates cats or they love cats, and this is part of the story because you made the cat kind of seem like a jerk at the beginning, like I'm gonna get out of here, man. I'm like, jeez, going on with this cat. But no. So I guess one of the questions I would ask is, I kind of burned through all of them, being with all of it, I guess, and we kind of already answered all this and stuff. As you go through and you play the main game, I'm guessing it's going to come back to kind of what is every ending. You're going to have multiple endings, or you're going to have one ending? Because I know you can pick multiple cats, or you could pick from multiple cats, and they all have their own backstory. So I didn't know if that'll play into different endings, or it's all kind of the same story, but just with a different cat.
Yeah, that's a great question. You can pick one of 6 cats, and primarily we did this so people can find them more relatable and like play their cat. But I think we started the game with just one tuxedo, like black and white cat, because there was my partner's cat who passed away a few years ago. So we wanted to honor her. Her name is Kiara. So we wanted to make a cat who looked like her. And then when we started posting some footage on like Reddit and Twitter, some people started commenting stuff like, "It'll be so nice to play this game as my cat because he passed away," or stuff like that. So we just thought we'll give people this opportunity. So yeah, you can choose from one of 6 cats. In terms of the alternative endings and choices play a little bit into dialogue that happens further in the game, but in core and in a base level, it is a linear narrative story. And I guess it comes partially to the size of our team. There's just 2 of us plus our wonderful so maybe next one, if this one gets at least even 1% of the Wukong sales, maybe next one will have multiple.
You're like, hey, DLC's dropping. We got a whole new tell. You know, it's funny you say that too, because I have 2 cats. So I have 2 cats. So I have Bailey, of course, which has already made an appearance on here, but I also have an older cat, which is a Russian blue. And that's why I picked the kind of the grayish cat, the one that I think it was like maybe the second or third one. And I picked the one that looked most like my cat. And I was like, I'll pick you because you look like I named her Blue because she's a Russian blue. So that's kind of funny. I guess another question I have, I'm sorry if I'm asking too many questions in a row, is why do I have to knock stuff off of the table when I'm not only am I a jerk because I'm eating this lady's food, but the cat's knocking stuff off the table. And I was like, Jesus, cat's a jerk.
Oh, that's just part of being a cat, right? Like as a human, you have conscious choice. As a cat, you may not.
Yeah,
I can see that as being a struggle. Like, oh, dang cat, but I'm a cat.
Experimentation with gravity is a big part of the cat kind of growing up and learning about the world.
True. I'll let somebody else ask a question unless they want me to keep going.
No, I think Anthony has something to say.
Oh, I do? Oh, I guess I do. So I played the demo a bit, and the one thing that always caught my attention for the game, because like every other narrative-driven game, is the soundtrack. And I really enjoyed the music. It's like it really fits the atmosphere of when you were playing throughout the game, like the different scenario, the different places, the different scenes. So is the soundtrack all original as well?
Absolutely.
From your studio?
Big props to our wonderful composer, Dan Bunting. He's a Sydney-based composer, and this is actually his first time working on the video game project. So we collaborated with him before on some short films. That's before our game career started. So we knew Dan before, and he's super talented. But this is first time he actually took onto the mission, he learned Fmod, he learned like all the software. So it's not just like look and track, but it actually reacts to what's happening in the game. It's very modular. There's also like little kind of underlying layers of the game that get triggered when you do certain things or activate or act in certain way. As well as it was a really cool process with him because he brought a lot of film experience to the table, and like we based the music not just on the level, on the location, but each character has their own theme. And when we introduce the cat, there's a cat theme playing, and then Olive, the elderly lady, she has her own kind of music. And towards like as the game progresses, you see them starting like kind of mingle a little bit. Like you hear the cat music with a bit of the Olive's soundtrack kicking in, and then there's the whole jungle kind of African savanna theme. Because in the game, our cat, when she sleeps, when she dreams of being this giant panther, like super powerful. And that is, we use that as a metaphor in a way to reflect how she feels. When she's like feeling low and sad, she may be small and insignificant, and it's scary, and there's like a giant things floating around. But when she's on top of the world, when she's like having a great time, she's a giant panther, and she's just chasing this like little rabbits who look almost like as little as ants, so giving her power. And that whole thing has its own theme to just more highlight her kind of inner world of being a wildcat, because that's her ultimate dream, to go back to the wild, the best wildlife.
I noticed that when I was playing with the cat, and then the cat was in the living room watching TV, and saw the wildcats.
You're like,
and those cats look so real. Also, like I'm like, wow, they look so real. Like I'm actually watching TV.
That is real footage.
It was real footage. Come on now.
Yeah,
we bought that one from stock.
And I would like to say too on that point, just to chime in on what Anthony said. It was pretty cool. Like I really liked how you would go for the jungle theme, and once she came out of it, they would go back to the soft tones. Like it would be like rah, and then it would come into like Olive's music, and you're like, oh, it really pulled you into the story.
Same with mini games. We also like when you play this little quick time mini games doing mischief, we kick in a little bit of playfulness with that theme as well, just bringing the wild side. So if you enjoy the soundtrack, we're also planning to release it separately on Steam as an album. So I think it's almost done mixing, so it should be ready by the game's release.
Nice.
That's super dope.
I tried collect all the digital soundtrack. You have no idea how much my digital soundtrack of indie games I have.
Kostia, you probably don't want to know how many games Anthony has. Anthony has like 80% of all the games released on Steam.
And how many did you play?
Maybe about 40%. It's just hard. My back.
It's so hard. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it is really hard. But I mean,
go ahead.
Yeah, even if you don't like buy or play the indie games, it's kind of like really, really good to have a bunch of them in your like library, because you can kind of dive into different stories. You already have like this pool of different stories you have. You just have to choose like which one I want to go into.
I mean, that's like when it comes to indie games. Like some indie games are long. You can finish it takes a couple of days. Some you can finish in one day, like 6 hours. Exactly. I don't know how long Copycat will probably be when it comes to completion time.
Copycat's gonna be yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll be aiming at 3 to 4 hours of gameplay.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So like I have a question. So I know we all know like you have a cat and all, but like did you have to like study separately? Like did you have to do some research on like how cats actually kind of act or think or do certain things, or did you just know them all and just put it in all the ideas from your head and experience?
That's a wonderful question. Well, most of the cat knowledge, I would say all of it, comes from Samantha, who's our head of narrative, and my other half of the team, partner in crime. So she loves cats, and I think kind of just overall cat experience, kind of their behavior, everything comes from her inside, as well as the whole experience of adopting and bringing a new cat home, because her family moved a lot when she was growing up, so there's a lot of cats in her life, and she channeled a little bit of those stories as well, and that's probably kind of where we show Cat coming to the new house for the first time, being inside this little box, being scared. We channeled a lot of her past cat experience into those scenes.
Nice.
And like internet never disappoints as well when you look into the cat mischief.
A lot of reference on YouTube.
I had to research a lot of cats kind of scratching toilet paper, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
hey, there is a DLC. There's a lot of cat washing videos on YouTube. You could be like, copycat goes to the groomer. That'd be a very horrible time.
I thought you were gonna suggest Power Wash Simulator DLC.
Wash the cat, but I'm pretty sure the cat would not enjoy that at all.
I mean, speaking of that, like when the first time you told me about Copycat, I went to Steam and typed in Copycat, and I got Copycat, and I got another game called Copycat. I'm like, wait, which game is this? Because they're both not out yet. I'm like, it has to be this one or that one. No, it has to be the top one. So I'm like, okay. I found the game.
Yeah, there was a game called Copycat. The other one called Copycat on Steam. I think it's I don't know if it's going to be released. It's a 2019 release date, so we haven't really heard much from or about it. Yeah, I think we discovered it after we already made our page, so it was kind of way too late for us to change. And I think Copycat just made perfect sense as a name.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I mean, once Copycat, which is yours, is completely together, and theirs has got a space in it. So,
it's a capital C.
Okay. Yeah. Yours had, and then I noticed the one on top was really cartoonish, and yours was more lifelike. Yeah. So, I guess one of the questions I really had is, one thing I find super annoying, I guess, or difficult in gaming is story versus pace. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I have a horrible ADHD brain when it comes to some games. Like, I used to play a lot of games where there was just a ton of talking, and I'm like, at first I wanted to know the story, but after a while I'm like, click, 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 click. But I felt like your story was well paced with the action. Like, you're playing as the story was unfolding. Was that kind of like something you guys wanted to do from the beginning, or how did that all come into existence, or how did you get that out?
I think that was getting the balance right was really important to us. And when we were testing our very, very first early alpha, we had lots of questions about the balance, how people found the balance between narrative-driven cutscenes, choices, and minigames. So we tried our best to refine and make sure it's never too much. Also, probably a little bit of film experience help us keep it a little bit tight in terms of the game, because we potentially could have made game that would have went for 7-8 hours and made levels bigger, made mini games longer, more story beats. But we found that this 3 to 4 hour time kind of frame is what our story needed. So we didn't overstay our welcome. We didn't want to stretch. So and that's why we hope our game can be enjoyed Like, in one night, if it's rainy outside, you just grab your cat, grab your blanket, warm beverage, just sit in front of the TV or with your handheld, and it's kind of just like watching one big Lord of the Rings film. So it's nice.
That's actually really, I mean, honestly, and that's one thing I really appreciated about it. And as I was playing the demo, I was like, I'm hoping the whole game is like this, because it just, I don't know why it just spoke to me, but it made me so happy. Like, I think the one example that really kind of hit me, or I would say really excited me, was when you brought the cat asleep because she was petting him, and you're purring. And then all of a sudden she's a jungle cat and she's bouncing around getting these rabbits. But then you hear Olive in the background talking to her daughter, clearly having this real deep emotional conversation. But yet you're a jungle cat. So there's like this, you're like chasing rabbits, like, roar. And then she's like, you're not acting like much of a daughter. You're like, this poor old lady. But at the same time, you're trying to catch rabbits. And I was like, this is so much fun. Like, I was just having, and then I think the other time too is like when you're talking about the mini games is with the feather thing. And then when it turns into fish, and the guy's like, you got to be quick. And you're like trying to, it's like, you really want to go outside. You got to get better at this. And I'm like, oh. But yeah, I really appreciated the pacing of the game with, the story. Like, it just felt so good. I wish more games would do that, to be honest with you. Like, there's some games I play and I swear to God, I'm about to fall asleep sometimes. I'm like, click, 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 click. But this one, I was just like, oh, this poor old lady, as I'm trying to catch rabbits. And I was like, this is dope. You made me like a wholesome game, which I don't want to admit, but you made me like it.
Oh, you gotta say it. To say it out loud.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like the wholesome game.
Hey, there we go. It's one of the things that, as indie devs, is one of the things we can afford doing, I guess. Because we're not going to charge people $70 for the game. We're going on an indie price range. It will be priced at about $15, and because of that, we don't have an expectation for our game to last for like 300 hours. So we can take more risks in terms of keeping it concise and telling story in a short period of time.
I think we have some great questions here and there. So do you have anything to like add before we go, like talk about your game lastly, or say to the audience?
I just wanted to say a big thanks for having me, guys. It was a pleasure.
It was fun. Yeah, it was fun talking.
Enjoyed. Any Copycat is coming to Steam in September. Please keep an eye out for our official release date announcement next week. And wishlist on Steam. Classics.
Yeah, please go wishlist it.
Can I ask one question before we go?
Go
one last question, I promise. Is it? So I was going to ask: is this your first game?
Yes.
And so are you kind of waiting to see how this goes to kind of see if you make another one, or is there anything else in the works right now?
Sam already started writing a story outline for our next game.
Nice.
That one is a new IP, original IP.
You don't have to tell us. I was just wondering if you have one coming out again, because
we don't have some thing. Obviously, as a small team, a lot depends on how Copycat goes. So if we can afford making next game, that's all we can ask for. We would love that, absolutely. So just fingers crossed.
Yeah. So everyone, let's support Copycat so then we can see another beautiful narrative game coming out after this one.
Take my money. Where is it at?
It's not there yet. But yeah.
But yeah, coming out in September, everyone. So please go play, wishlisted, and new trailer is dropping next week. So watch that, and just everyone enjoy. So it was actually a pleasure having you as a guest. We all, like three of us, we all love indie dev or indie games and talking to indie devs. So yeah, and if you ever want to come back again, we're always welcome. We have our arms open. So
Always here. You have my number.
I do have your. I just yeah. So yeah. Okay.
George got all the numbers.
Yes, I do. All right. So thank you, everyone, and we will probably record again or meet again next week. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You're
Thank you,
awesome.
everyone.
I mean it. Give me the
Yes.
game.
This one is. Yeah.